Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about this concept of your babies or thinking that our babies need to sleep 11 to 12 hours in a row consistently. So I know you're thinking, wait, what? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? And the truth is that I know you have heard about this on social media and, sleep trainers galore talk about how, join their program or sign up for their services or whatnot, and they will get your baby sleeping 11 to 12 hours consistently through the night. And isn't that what we all want? Doesn't that sound like living the dream? Of course it does, but it is also not true. So we're going to talk about that today. So, one of the first things is none of us sleep consistently through the whole night, not even us adults. We have these things that are called partial arousals after each sleep cycle. And our adult sleep cycles are anywhere from 90 minutes to 120 minutes. And our babies' sleep cycles are much shorter than that. They're about 45 to 60 minutes. And what happens is as we go through the sleep cycle, there's a partial arousal at the end of the sleep cycle. And during that partial arousal, we do exactly that. We arouse slightly. We go into a lighter, more active phase of sleep, and we have a partial arousal. For us adults, this is where we might turn over or we might pull the comforter up a little bit, closer. We might tuck ourselves in and keep ourselves warm. We might throw the comforter off because we're too hot. We might take a sip of water. We might go and use the bathroom. Whatever it is, this is usually what's happening during the partial arousal. Okay, so we kind of wake up a little bit. We do what we need to do to rejig. We roll over to the side. We roll over to our back. We flip over to our belly, whatever it is. And then we go back to sleep because our brains have the ability to do that, to regulate this whole need that we had, and we are able to take care of that need on our own because we have a fully functioning brain and we are fully functioning, capable adults for the most part. For our babies, this is quite different. They also have these partial arousals at night after each sleep cycle, but they do not yet have the experience or the ability to take care of these needs during these partial arousals. And yes, some babies might find their hands and they might start sucking on their hands, or they might rub their cheek against the crib mattress to, soothe themselves back to sleep from that calm state of the partial arousal. But if they have needs like hunger or thirst, or they're cold, or they're uncomfortable for some reason, or they're just scared because they're thinking, what happened to my mommy? They are going to cry out for support. That is their way of communicating. And if they don't get that support, then they're going to keep crying, and they may eventually stop crying because they're realizing that nobody is going to come and help them, and they're essentially losing trust in you. But their body is going into a stressed state, and they do not have the brain capability to calm from a distressed state. So babies and adults wake up during the night. So this whole idea of sleeping consistently through the night is just false. The other thing I want to talk about is this idea that 11 to 12 hours is somehow the magic number for sleeping at night. And really, we want to be looking at sleep in a 24-hour period versus just sleep during the day and sleep during the night. There does come a period where we want to make sure that babies aren't napping too much during the day because that might be affecting their night sleep. But in general, we really want to be looking at sleep in a 24-hour period. And just like us adults, all babies are unique beings and they all have different sleep needs. Some babies are lower sleep total needs or lower sleep total babies, and some babies have higher sleep needs. And so, some babies might do really well with, the lower end of normal or the lower end of the range for their age for a 24-hour period. And some babies actually need the max or more. And so this is where we really need to be thinking about what cues is our baby giving? Are they getting enough sleep? So one really great way to figure out if they're getting enough sleep is in the morning when they wake up. Do they wake up happy or do they wake up crying and cranky? If they're happy, then they got enough sleep. Doesn't matter if they had 9 hours or 11 hours or 12 hours. If they wake up happy, that was enough. Okay. If they wake up crying and cranky or clingy, or there's just something is off, then they're probably still tired and they could have used more sleep. So then you can kind of rejig and see what's going on. Same goes for naps. Naps do not need to be 2-hour naps. And I know that you guys are thinking and stressing about, like, oh my gosh, my baby isn't napping for 2 hours. What's wrong with my baby? How do I get my baby to nap for 2 hours? No, it's the same thing for naps. If your baby wakes up happy after a 20, 30-minute nap, that's all they needed. If they wake up crying and cranky, then they were still tired. So there's that piece of the puzzle as well. And so the other thing to think about is, if your baby has really amazing naps and is sleeping for 2-hour chunks during the day, then they might only need 8 or 9 hours at night because they got a lot of sleep during the day. If they are sleeping 20 to 30-minute chunks during the day and they're only getting, let's say, 2 or 3 20 to 30-minute naps, then they might need 10, 11, or 12 hours of sleep at night to really get that 24-hour total of sleep. So as you can see, every baby is different, but also your baby's sleep needs are going to change as they grow old, or as they grow and get older. And so the sleep needs for a 4-month-old are very different than a sleep needs for the 10-month-old. Okay, so we really want to be careful that we're not expecting too much of our babies, because this is where that overwhelm comes from. This is where that stress comes from, where that confusion comes from, where that thinking comes from, like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with my baby. They're not doing XYZ. I need to try to get them to do XYZ. I have to train them how to sleep. I have to train them to get 11 to 12 hours of night. But if your baby doesn't actually need that, then you are already losing that battle. So there's that piece of the puzzle as well. So there's so many other factors that are included in night sleep, which I talk about all over the place on YouTube, in my free Facebook group, in the Sleep Deprived Zombie Mamas group, on Instagram. But I really just want you to know that you get to tune into your baby and your baby's mood, and you do not need to be following some arbitrary numbers that you hear from sleep trainers, from sleep books, even from your pediatrician. I have had a lot of mamas come to me lately who are telling me that their pediatrician is saying that there's something wrong with their baby because their 9-month-old is still waking up to eat at night. Oh my goodness. We are going to save that for another video. But that is also just totally wrong. It drives me crazy. So just know that, all babies are different. Babies have different sleep needs. It's going to depend on a 24-hour period. I want you to look at the 24-hour period versus just the night sleep, or like trying and struggling to try to get this 11 to 12 hours sleep. The other thing I want to mention is that these partial arousals that I talked about, those do not count as full wakes. If your baby has a partial arousal, cries out, and is easily soothed back to sleep with your support, whether it is nursing, whether it is rocking, whether it is patting, whether it is whatever, and that was just a quick little 10, 15-minute thing and they went back to sleep very easily, that is not considered a full wake, and that does not actually count in the whole grand scheme of things throughout the night. It doesn't count as time that they weren't sleeping. So it might seem like your baby is up 6, 7 times a night needing your support back to sleep, but that doesn't mean that they are having full wakes. It doesn't mean that they have had broken sleep. So really going based off of your baby's needs and your baby's moods to really determine whether they are getting the sleep that their body needs. Okay. So I would love to hear your comments and questions in the comments below. If you are on YouTube, maybe the comments are going to be above the video if you're on different platforms. But anyway, let me know your questions. I am happy to answer them. Also, feel free to join my Sleep Deprived Zombie Mama group. That is our free community over on Facebook to learn all about attachment and responsive parenting and sleep support. No sleep training. And lastly, I am hosting the Sleep Makeover event. Again, we start on January the 21st. Super low cost way to get access to me, get some learning on tuning into your baby, tuning into your mama instincts, optimizing sleep for the whole family, and really just learning about what is actually normal baby sleep. So that's it for me today. Love you all. Bye for now.